but I just thought I want to move beyond that cookie cutter life of women. I just wanted to connect with other women who also want to move beyond where they've been in the past, and not move beyond being women, because we're still women, we'll always be women, but we want to move beyond just the standard stuff that people think of women. People think that women can't do math, for instance, or women aren't good at investing. I'm in financial services, and so I just wanted to help women.
We're trying to chase the non-cookie cutter life, if you be, or try to really pave our own path in life. Find our authentic path is a good way to put it. Carve our own path.
And inspire others to do the same along the way.
That is so exciting.
Hi, friends. This is James and Kara, and we are Kerouacs Cruising.
We are taking you on a journey, traveling the country with our dogs and finding remote places where the dog
And us
can roam free and play while we discuss life's growths, beauty, and some struggles along the way.
We recommend pairing our episodes with our blog at kerouacscruising.com, where we organize accurate information in an easy-to-follow format, removing all of the conversational goodies.
The link for this episode's blog post is in the show notes.
We encourage you to join the conversation by commenting where you listen, engaging with us on Facebook or Instagram at Kerouacs Cruising, or email us at join@kerouacscruising.com.
In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the journey.
Good morning.
Hi, thank you for joining Kerouacs Cruising. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Mary Black, and she has a podcast that is Beyond the Cookie Cutter. And please introduce yourself. Tell us a little about your podcast.
Okay. My podcast started because I have been a stay-at-home mom a lot of my life and worked at various different things, but I just thought I want to move beyond that cookie cutter life of women. I just wanted to connect with other women who also want to move beyond where they've been in the past, and not move beyond being women, because we're still women, we'll always be women, but we want to move beyond just the standard stuff that people think of women. People think that women can't do math, for instance, or women aren't good at investing. I'm in financial services, and so I just wanted to help women. And James, you're welcome to come and join us.
We're trying to chase the non-cookie cutter life, if you be, or try to really pave our own path in life, and find our authentic path is a good way to put it. And we've been reading a lot of books and trying to change our mindset, because our brains in life sometimes always spirals, and working a conventional job really doesn't give you the time to be able to explore anything in life. So we're trying to change that and carve our own path.
And inspire others to do the same along the way.
That is so exciting. I know somebody who, I was just having a conversation this morning, and she has said several times, I just want to quit everything and go get an RV and drive across the country. And for her, she wants to do theater, go out to all the little teeny theaters across the country and maybe interview the directors and those kinds of things. And then she was talking about where she's working, and she said, you know what, if I just go get a different job, in 5 years, I'll still be in the same place. And so I agree with you so much, James. It's a spiral
absolutely.
up, or it's a spiral down, isn't it?
Yeah. And I do believe, now that, I haven't been working as much, and I do believe in putting your mindset every day at positive intentions, a positive outlook, and always reminding myself of the light at the end of the tunnel, or there is so much joy to be had in the world.
Yeah, I know Kara's told me some of the books you guys have been reading, and there's a lot of the same books that I've been reading, right?
All right.
On top of you reading, you're in the mix talking to these change makers. I mean, it's really amazing. Some of the deep conversations that you have on your podcast, it's really inspiring. I mean, you're having those real deep conversations, that building up that real magic.
I'm glad you said that. And I hope that's true. I believe it's true. It is true for me. And I am so excited to have Kara helping me edit the podcast and doing all the social media stuff, because I've been in a slump for a few weeks, and my audience, if there is any still left, will be so happy. In fact, I think we'll we'll put this in front of some of the other ones just so that the audience knows, hey, she's going to start doing this again.
And if some have dissipated, no hard feelings, but hopefully with this conjoined podcast, kind of, you'll touch some new audience through our audience, which will be awesome.
Same.
And vice versa, of course.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
And we are super excited to come
and meet you
in person.
Yes.
And you're right outside Idaho Falls?
Yes. I understand you're coming up my direction in the next week or two. That's pretty exciting.
Yep, definitely probably next Monday.
Yeah.
Wow, you're going to be cruising through. The Kerouacs are going to be cruising through.
Oh, we can't wait.
Hot, fast, and in a hurry.
Well, that's what you'll be doing. That's pretty much my life. But I don't mind if it's hot. And I mean, if it's good, if we're going places and if we're doing some fun things. So,
yeah.
So tell me about some of the books that you've read, or at least something that's impressed you, because I know you have an incredible story, how you got started in Kerouacs cruising. I would love to have my audience hear it, and your audience has probably heard it, but maybe you can share something you haven't before.
Yeah. So it kind of started, we were already thinking, it was 2003, right? Or yeah, 2023, 23, we were already thinking that so we had worked corporate jobs. We had stepped back and started working as servers at the Grand Canyon while we were working on building our off-grid homestead. That gave us more time and more money. And then that was still more time than we wanted to spend. We realized we still weren't spending as much time with friends and family all over the country as we wanted to. So then we had stepped back even further after the pandemic and both got seasonal jobs where he would have 5 months off out of the year. I would have 3 months off out of the year. So it gave us some more freedom and flexibility to travel. And after a few years of doing that, we decided that still wasn't enough. And so we were really grinding in, trying to figure out, what can I do for remote work? I started taking medical billing and coding classes actually, and trying to figure out how we can earn money and live full time traveling. And then his son found out, or they were trying to, so it wasn't a surprise or anything, but they got pregnant. And so that was even higher of a drive. We need to get to Idaho, spend as much time as possible with our new grandbaby. And so plus friends and family that were still all over the country. We still wanted time for all of that. So we had already tentatively put in notices with both of our jobs that we probably weren't coming back for the next season in the spring. And then we got in a car accident the day before we were supposed to leave for the winter to spend it up in Idaho to help prepare for the grandbaby.
Oh.
And it was a pretty gnarly accident. So I had to stay home to do physical therapy and recuperate our losses the best we could. And then we went through reading things like Think and Grow Rich, Limitless by Jim Quick. What was one of the other big ones that we read?
The Power of Emotions.
Yeah, The Astonishing Power of Emotions, Abraham Hicks. And it just really warped our mindset. So we were really in this healing space physically, but took that as a healing opportunity mentally to prepare ourselves for the next journey in life. Now we had nothing but time. Our whole winter plans were off kilter. So we really took it to help us grow. And I went back to work that spring, but then we left before summer and made it before the baby was born, and spent the whole summer last year up in Idaho traveling around, spending as much time with the family up there as possible, and started the podcast. We launched it as soon as we jetted up there, and have been just using it to not only follow our physical journey of traveling the country, but this growth journey that we're taking to change the mindset, to have this confidence, to not live a conventional life and really trust in the process and trust that things will pan out as they need to pan out. When you are chasing your passion, when you're going after what your sole purpose is, things are going to work out. And what's really funny about that kind of rounds it all out is James is a Kerouac, as in Jack Kerouac, and they're distant cousins. But he had never, in the family, he was kind of vilified. There was not a lot of respect for Jack Kerouac by James's grandparents and stuff. So he never was interested in the books or the stories. And it's just come to the point where we kind of have to know what we're talking about if we're going to keep having people approach us about it. So we just did a book club meeting with On the Road by Jack Kerouac. And it was really, really cool to realize that without realizing it, we are ultimately living his legacy in just going after it without, barely any money in your pocket, and just go chase what your passions are and your dreams are and just go make it happen. That life's too short, essentially, to sit around and wish and wait and wonder.
And to circle back on that, one of the other books is Own the Day by Aubrey Marcus that we read also. And there's a few other ones. We did read On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I just finished Dharma Buns by Jack Kerouac, and I feel that book was far better than On the Road. And it really got into Buddhism and just how different people grew up in society, how different societies were so much different and generations. One of the things we learned when we were working in the Grand Canyon is you could go to the national parks like Yellowstone and Glacier, and you could pick up part-time seasonal work.
That's amazing. I know that they have in Yellowstone, since we're pretty close to Yellowstone, they have geyser watchers. And I think those are just volunteers, but then they also have the people at the campgrounds and the other places. But I always said that the geyser watcher would be in my future because my husband loves those geysers. And
they are awesome.
We have spent hours and hours just sitting and waiting for one to go off, and then it's so worth it. For some people it wouldn't be worth it, but for us it was just so worth it. We even took some of our grandchildren last week, and they loved sitting and waiting for 2 hours in the sun. And because all they had to say was, it was so cool when the water was just going up and all this stuff, Those
are neat to watch.
Yeah, those are under 10 under age 10 grandchildren. So there's some amazing, beautiful.
I'm sure for you that it was like magical to be able to share. I mean, that's obviously something you love to do, and for them to have that kind of excitement at that age, like just how magical.
Yeah, it is beautiful. So you're planning on seeing some of the natural wonders. I think that's been one of our goals, is see all the natural wonders that we possibly can of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then, along the way, I'll meet up with family and friends.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I love that.
And our home base will be now Idaho.
Yeah.
So we're going to look to hopefully buy an acre or two up there and build, even if it's just a garage to house the camper, something like that at first.
Yeah.
So we're excited.
So you've been living just 20 minutes from Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Yep. South rim of the Grand Canyon.
That's amazing. That's beautiful down there. We went to the North Rim one time. I've never been to the South Rim though. And that's where you were, right?
Yeah, we're in the South Rim. The North Rim is beautiful.
It is. It's a different
and it's
world.
less crowded up there.
Oh,
really?
really?
Better experience, if I may say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many family memories at all the national parks, Zion's and the one in California and Southern Utah and all over the place. So, yeah, we've been.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go to Yosemite. So one of the reasons I moved out here was to see the national parks. And I've been out here now since 2008, and I really only scratched the surface. And we plan on going to Yosemite at the end of this year.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. I grew up pretty close to Yosemite, so.
Oh, nice.
That was my grow up national park. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's fun that you grew up next to Yosemite and then moved next to Yellowstone, essentially. Always got a national park in your backyard.
Yeah, it's kind of been a joke in our family that every time we've moved a little bit closer to Yellowstone because my husband loves those geysers. So
that's awesome.
And even one of my sons, when he was 2, we took him. It was his second birthday when we were there, and so he could barely talk, but he kept saying, "I see it, water," because the water squirts out. "I want to see it, hot," because all the steam vents,
the steam and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was pretty fun. It is. It's part of our family history, I think, our family memories.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It is. And it's hard to have a more beautiful place than to have in your memories. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about the people you're trying to interview and how you actually find those people living life on different terms.
Yeah. Outside that cookie cutter.
Well, I have found a lot of them on social media, And of course, a lot of them have just been friends because we've lived all over the place. And so I remember, people from various places and then referrals. That's how I met Kara, was a referral from somebody I met on social media. So I was,
That's beautiful.
yeah, yes.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So,
Oh, she met Sylvia on Alignable, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I remember that now. I remember Sylvia saying that.
oh yeah, met Sylvia on Alignable. It's a great,
Alignable is great to connect with people.
yeah. It's also great if you're just starting a business because when you do those, some people call them speed dating, but it's not really dating, right? It's
Yeah.
speed getting to know networking. But you
Yeah.
just meet with somebody for 7 minutes and you get practice over and over telling what you're doing and where you're going and why. And so I loved it for that. I
Yeah,
haven't
it really
a
helps
whole
you
lot recently.
narrow down that
Go ahead.
elevator pitch.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get different responses from different people and some people are, oh, that's boring. And other people just got it like I
You're
do.
not my people. I love that.
Yeah,
Well, one of the things you learn, right? Everybody's looking for their own audience, really. You're not gonna, really connect with everybody out in the world, but there's definitely gonna be, you know, 500,000 people that you may connect with.
exactly. I agree. And I was just talking to Kara yesterday about how, sometimes they tell you, go find your niche first. And you have to know your niche and you have to know what they want. And then you go please them, right? We were talking about, we're kind of rebels in that way. We just want to go share who we are and then have them come to us and find us. But it is a little bit harder to have them find us, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Absolutely.
harder up front, but in the long run, you're really going to reap the benefits because you never have to change who you really are if you've always been who you really are. If you always share your authentic voice, you don't have to put up a mask every time you are trying to get more followers or do your thing. Yeah, at the end of
Yeah.
it all.
You're not trying to please them. You're trying to just be yourself and let them come to you. Those
Yeah.
who like your voice. I always call it your language, your voice. I just feel like there are people who wanted to hear my voice for good or for ill,
It's great. Your podcast is it's really inspiring. And like I said, you really have the great magical conversations and you have such passion. I mean, we were talking yesterday and if you'd like, I'd really like to get into what you're building right now. I mean, you really have a baby that is really, I think, going to change a lot of people's lives, change a lot of women's perspectives and give them a lot of confidence that they don't have
Yeah. You want to hear about it?
now. Please, yes.
Well, I've had a dream for many years, actually, like 15 years to share my message. I've just felt like I've just been feeling I've got a message, and then somebody'd say something, oh yeah, yeah, that's true. And somebody else would say something, yeah, I need to get my message out there. But you're so scared. And you're scared they're going to not like it, or you're going to get the lighting wrong, or your hair is going to look funny, or something. I don't know what women care about, right? James doesn't care about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, so finally I started just really trying to figure out what do I need to what is my message. And so when I first started my podcast a little over 2 years ago, I wanted to interview wise women, what I call wise women, so that people could hear the wisdom that women have gained and so that they could hear and know that it's appreciated. Because sometimes when you get older, your children don't listen. My children listen. I mean, they're great children, but sometimes people don't listen, but those people outside of you. And I just thought, if my children ever get to the place where they don't listen to me, maybe somebody else's children will listen to me and maybe they can talk. Somebody else will speak for my children to help my children. So that was one of the things that I wanted to do. But since I've been in financial services, I've been a financial professional for many years, I just thought, how can I combine those two? And how can I help women, help people? And the thing I'm really excited about right now is I'm putting together some Women in Wealth, and I'm not sure if that's what it's going to be called, but Women in Wealth, a whole program to talk about things like like investing or like saving, and why sometimes we save some money and then it all disappears, and how to change the mindset. So there's the principle, the, like saving money, and then there's the energetic relation, the thing that it's related to, right? It's related to, if we don't save money, maybe we don't feel like we deserve to have money saved up, or maybe we're afraid that it will disappear, so we have to spend it, or there's some subconscious things going on. And so I want to also work with that subconscious part, and then give people tools. I've been collecting tools for 20 years, tools that help people with their mindset, shift their mindset. And so I've got a lot of friends who have tools, incredible tools that they use to help people, life coaches, and somebody who's really good at meditation and loves to help people that way. So that's what we're going to do. The financial concept and relate it to what's happening inside of you. So maybe if that financial concept isn't working, I'm just summarizing right now.
Yeah.
And here's the underlying principle, the subconscious or energetic, and then some tools to shift from where you are to where you want to go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
You get
I
that?
had a question for you
Okay.
for a wealth of knowledge. So, recommendations on books that you've read, financial or otherwise, that's inspired you in your life.
Okay, I'm looking at my bookshelves.
All right, I'm gonna get ready to.
He's ready.
I'm ready to write that down.
See those? Actually, here's one I love. David Schwartz, The Magic
Oh,
of
I love it.
Big.
I think I love that one.
Of course, you already mentioned this one.
Oh yeah, we love that one too.
Napoleon Hill. I've got several of Napoleon Hill's books. This one I love, The Master Key to Riches. That's Napoleon Hill, because he talks about the 12 different kinds of riches that we have. And if you look at my books, there's all kinds of notes and tabs and everything in them. But money is a small part of it. And so when I talk about, for instance, women and wealth, or wealth for anybody, money is just a little piece of it. There are so many things like sharing and going the extra mile and definiteness of purpose, which you hear about whenever you read anything from him. Anyway, I won't go into more of that, but I've got John Maxwell. I love his books.
Greatest return, yeah.
He's writing it down.
I got a whole bunch of John Maxwell. Oh, you guys might like this one. I don't even know who this guy is, but it's called Real Love, Greg Bear.
Real love.
Yeah, Real Love in Marriage. But he's got a whole series of them, like Real Love for Children, Real Love in various different types of relationships. But it just talks about, he actually mentions something he calls a wise person, that when you feel safe with this person, then you can blossom and grow just like a plant, just like a
Nice.
Yeah. Well, so those are a variety. I mean, I love, these are some that I love Dan Sullivan, The Gap and the Gain. These are business books.
Yeah.
He's got, Benjamin Hardy wrote 3 of them in this series, The Gap and the Gain. Have you read those?
No.
10x is easier than 2x. And
I think we've heard of that one. Write that down. 10x.
Who, not how. Who, not how. If you're trying to create something and build something, look for the who. Don't say, how can I do this? Say, who loves it? And so just give it to them and let them do it. Anyway, these are a lot of business books. Money.
I love it.
Atomic Habits. I'm sorry. I could go on.
Atomic Habits. That's a good one too.
Atomic Habits.
A cliff notes on that one, but Jim Quick in Limitless talks a lot about atomic habits, and it takes a lot of the practices out of that book, recycles them for his.
Have you heard of Limitless, Jim Quick?
I've heard of Jim Quick, but I've never read Limitless. I already wrote that one down.
Yeah, it's it actually. So James has always said, "Oh, I can't read. I'm not a good reader." He got through this book and has not been able to stop reading since. It teaches you how to read faster. It teaches you that your brain is only what you believe it is. Essentially, you put your own blocks on your own mind, and he teaches you how to expand your memory. to expand your critical thinking. It's a really amazing. And if you wanted to go deeper than what this book teaches you, of course, he does all kinds of classes and courses, but you get so much out of this book. I mean, it's worth millions of dollars in my opinion, and I think it's a $20 book. Like, we did the audio book and read it so we could highlight and write.
Yeah.
But
While we listen.
yeah, really cool.
I do that too. I get them on the audio book, and then I have to get the printed copy so I can underline as I'm going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I underline a lot. Okay, so you guys have a book club too, don't you?
We do, yeah. We just finished On the Road with Jack Kerouac, and then starting on the 29th, we're going to launch for our book that we're co-authors in, Together We Rise. So that's going to be fun because it's kind of a unique opportunity to be in a book club with authors of the book that you're reading. So we think that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And I don't know, I haven't been able to get officially with any of the other authors. A lot of the authors are members of our book club, but they haven't appeared in any of our meetings. So I'm hoping some of the other authors will join us too, especially as we're getting towards their chapters, and then we can kind of have an open discussion with them, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that.
And some of the chapters are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
A lot of unbelievable people in the book.
Well, I have met a few of them because Sylvie has introduced me to them. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the book to come out and to read it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's June 24th is its release date. So I imagine by the time this goes live anywhere, we're gonna be released.
Yay. So is it going to be on Amazon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your book club called? Or do you have a Facebook page or something with that?
Yeah. So it's actually, all of the info is on a Facebook page, which is Our Journey Through Reading. And then we do our meetings. We've been doing it on our podcast platform, but
Altitude.
we don't know if it's an issue where it has to be on desktop or not. So I think we're going to have to switch to Zoom for the actual physical live meetings.
We're having trouble when people try to get in on with us. We can't hear them or they can't hear us. So we got to try Zoom. We got to try different
I think
platforms.
it's a cell phone problem. I think you got to be on a desktop, and I want to make it as easy as possible for people. So
Yeah. I'm looking forward. Yeah, I knew you had a website, but I didn't know if there was or a Facebook, but I didn't know if there was a special one just for your book club.
Yeah, I can send you the link for that so that it.
All right. I love books, as you might have noticed. And I've
Yes.
and in the next room I've got shelves, and
Love it.
I like books.
Now, are you planning on writing a book?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it'd be fun to just take, well, I have had several ideas because when my children were young, we put together something called Wee Witties, and they were just, we would write some of the funny things that they said and put it into a newsletter, and we sent it out to our family. That was quite a few years ago because my youngest is almost 25. But we kept a collection of those. So I've got a whole spiral bound notebook with all those notes that have Wee Witties and recipes that we liked and pictures that the children drew. And so I've thought about putting that into a book. And the life and times of 6 children.
Yeah, absolutely. That would attract a big audience.
I think so.
You think so? It was.
I can get you, if you're interested, I can get you in touch with our publisher. She's actually working on a children's book with Sylvie. And so I do think that this would be up her alley.
Really? Woo.
Yes.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah. And then
You want to be a little busier, right?
Yeah, let's add some more to your plate.
I don't really need another project right now, but I've noticed that if I am really feeling the energy on the project, I can do a whole lot more than if I'm just trying to shovel through. Like James said at the beginning, a job sometimes it just takes up all your time and doesn't give it a whole lot back except some money to buy, maybe go on a vacation every once in a while. And I'm not saying
you don't get the big reward.
jobs. I'm not against jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's really, it's not that I'm even against jobs.
If it fills you.
Huh?
If it fills you.
Yeah, it's got to be it can't feel like work. is what it really, if you find really what you like, then it's not going to feel like work. You're going to enjoy getting up every day and doing whatever that is. And it could be a job. My son loves his career. He loves getting up and going to work. That's what he loves to do. But sometimes I was at the same job for 25 years. When I first had that career, I was really rewarded. But by the end, I was not rewarded anymore. And it just got uh, like a routine. So, and I think that as you get older, maybe you want to change, or some people will change throughout their life and be able to do many things.
I think we're designed to just keep learning. And so if you just do the same thing over and over for 25 years, it can get tedious.
Mhm.
Although I know some school teachers who and college professors who love what they do. They love having new students every time and the challenge of new people to work with, and they're constantly learning and improving. And you know, I agree. I agree. A job can be very fulfilling.
And that, for teachers, some some people, I've met many humans that are just natural teachers. I've had some great teachers, and they just loved what they did, and they changed their curriculum every year for the new group of kids, and that's what they got excited about. But yeah, and some of them, they're continuing to learn, and I'm sure some teachers get monotonous too, But some I've had plenty of great teachers, and they did it for 40, 50 years, and they loved it.
You were
Yeah.
an educator, weren't you?
Yeah, I taught music and special ed.
Oh,
All
wow.
right.
Yeah, so I love to teach, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the podcast and why I wanted to connect the financial services, because a lot of times financial is not, they're not teaching anything except here's what the stock market's doing, and here's, so you should put your money over there because utilities or this or that is going to be a good place to earn interest. But I just wanted to teach people how money works. I wanted to teach people how to think about money, like I said before. Just so many of those kinds of things. And
That
also
is so,
too. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Well, we're all still learning, and that's good. But in school, and I don't know, maybe it's changed by now, but they did not teach you how to do financing. They might have taught you how to balance a checkbook, and it was always based on your paycheck. They didn't really show you, unless you were out seeking those classes, to invest money in the stock market or how compounding interest work. So it's important for people like yourself to get out there and teach them. I know I didn't learn that in school at
Yeah,
all.
neither did I. And if your parents didn't teach you, well, what chance is there? Even in college, I know people who said, I learned how to be an engineer, but I didn't learn how to manage my money. I didn't learn how to live, how to,
Yeah.
you know, so you have to learn those things at home or someplace else. And that's part of my cause, is to just spread that financial literacy. It's pretty low in our country right now.
I
Absolutely.
agree 100%.
I know I have none. I told Mary yesterday. I was like, if I have money in my account, I spend it. If I don't, I don't think about it. Like, that's my money management strategy.
Okay, so James, Kara's going to get a lot of financial education just being around me. Are you happy?
That's good. That's good.
I know my husband's really happy that I decided to do this as a career too, because but he was really good. He was like, "Come, we got to do the budget. Come, you got to listen. We're going to make a financial decision." So that was really good. I'm really grateful for that.
That is really good.
Yeah, I think that's really good when couples do that together and they make their financial decisions together instead of just he has his money and she has hers, and the twain will never meet. Sometimes they get together.
That's a difficult train.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. My brain went to the difficulty in that, right? Because it's kind of a circle around where the conversation kind of started. We all have those subconscious issues, whether it's how we saw our parents interact about money or how we've seen other people in our lives interact about money, how society discusses money, how it's portrayed on media. And so we don't know how to have conversations with our significant other about money without getting charged. And I feel like that's where a lot of, especially when you're talking in that masculine feminine dynamic, like he wants to think logically and we think how we feel, and so it's hard for us to bridge the gap and how to have a conversation that's productive if we don't know how to communicate with one another. And I think that, again, having educational classes helps us both be able to open up our minds in such a way that we can have productive communication around money.
Yeah, I love that. As you know, I have a friend who's really studied the masculine and feminine, and she's been on my podcast, and I just interviewed her again 2 years later to what have you learned since then? And that's something I want to really include in the financial training part is I know masculine and feminine sounds really weird when it comes to financial stuff, but we think that numbers are just scientific, but they're not. We think that they're just cut and dried, that math stuff is cut and dried, but it's not. There's a lot of intuition and all kinds of stuff, energy that goes into it. It's just a representation of the energy that's happening
Absolutely.
inside of you. Yeah.
Everybody has both the masculine and the feminine within us, and that balance is what we're looking for, a healthy balance. And really what that is the difference, as mentioned in Sarah's podcast, is the difference between doing and being. The doing is the masculine, the being is the feminine. And so many women are so, like, that the financial world seems like it's got such a masculine
Yes.
approach about it. And so it's once we realize that we are as much that as we are everything else, I think that more and more women will begin to feel more comfortable around money. So I really, again, think it's beautiful what you're creating, and I really think it's going to help so many people.
Yeah. It's like the left brain and the right brain. And that's not exactly the same thing as masculine and feminine, but a lot of women are, like you said, women are more
Right.
creative. They're more right brain. A lot of times men are more left brain, but you can combine them and the synergy, it will just spark incredible things. I look forward to that happening for you and your Kerouacs cruising, your podcast and your book groups and everything that you guys are doing. I think this is going to be exciting. And I love that you said when we start to understand those concepts, and that's one of the fundamental concepts that I want to do in my Women in Wealth is understand that masculine and feminine. Then you can communicate with somebody who understands the world differently, who has a different perspective. Yes, I love it.
I will say, if you knew us 10 years ago, we've been together 15 years. So 10 years ago, we are totally different people than we are today. Developing our off-grid property has taught us how to work together, because when you try, and I'm not, trying to say it's bad or good, but when we tried to work together to build our house, and I'm asking Kara to help me, and just to do simple things that in my brain is that she would just know how to cut a piece of wood with a skill saw, and she looks at me like, "What? Go cut that board 78 inches," and she's like, "I can't do that."
It would literally be, and this is how the language felt to me. He would say, "Put that there," and I'd be like, "Put what? Where exactly?" And so there was the frustration because there was a communication gap between us, and that's just a very good example of that. It's the same dynamic I feel like in money is, we just think very differently, so our language is very different, and even though we have the same goal in mind, we still want the same thing at the end.
Yeah. But if you're not talking about it the same way, we think we have different goals, and it separates people, doesn't it?
No, so yeah, over the last 15 years, we have gotten so much better at communicating, and it takes effort. That's what I would tell everybody.
And patience.
Effort and patience, and know that it's a two-way street. I know sometimes she gets frustrated with me, I get frustrated with her, but we're trying, like she just said, we're trying to get the same outcome. And it's taken us a long time. and through reading books to understand each other a little differently.
Yeah. I think going through some of the, there's a lot of personality testing and psychological testing and understanding and all those things. I don't like to put people in categories, but I do like to understand, this person cares more about technological things, and that's how they're going to describe the world. That's how they're going to see the world, is more technology, or they're going to see it through emotions and feeling and relationships, or they're going to see it through just various different things. And one's not better than the other. I think we need all of them.
That's what I'm learning anyways.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, my husband is like, think it all through before he'll ever take a step. It's not always that way, but it's easy to exaggerate. And sometimes I'm like, just do something, please. And for him, I'm like, she just jumps in the middle and starts grabbing parts and puts it all together in something.
That's awesome.
So I'm learning to say to him, okay, so am I thinking about this clearly? Have I thought about all the possibilities? And he's learning to appreciate my creativity and my various things. Yeah, I love that.
No, that what you just said is another thing that we've learned. For me, anyways, taking Kara's input on any project that we're doing, because sometimes it actually makes it easier, comes out better when we both work on it.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Her mind just works a little different.
So when the partners work together, it just makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
I think that works for any kind of relationship, whether it's a business partnership, everything. We all come to the table with different life experiences, which gives us all a different perspective. And nobody's perspective is better or worse than anyone else's. And it may not appear to it on the surface that somebody might have a good idea, but when you dig deep down, it could be what opens up the whole conundrum that you're trying to work through. It's if you have an open mind, it really makes a huge difference. It really makes everything easier in the long run.
I'm still learning on all this stuff, though.
Well, I'm glad, because we're all learning, I think.
You never stop.
We're all learning and improving. But what I want to say, James, is I honor you for trying, for saying, okay, I'm going to open my mind to this. That is something I really respect you for. So keep going.
Well, thank you.
I tell you what, when I jumped off the deep end, when we started this journey, it started originally with me studying quantum physics. And I just went like, what? And I thought he was just going to be like, all right, girl, you're crazy. Maybe we need to like take some space. And he was like, okay, let's go. And so it's just been like, it's been amazing, because he's always said he can't learn. He's old dog, new tricks kind of mentality before. And then after he started digging into the Napoleon Hill world and started thinking about the quantum side of the universe, it's been amazing to watch his mentality blossom and how, we've been doing it together, which has been really cool. It's been awesome.
We still sometimes are stuck on our own ways.
Yeah. And it takes a shake up to get you out of those ways. And sometimes it means stopping that job that you had for 20, 25 years. Sometimes it takes being in a car accident. Unfortunately, not that I want anybody to be in,
no, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we can also just do it for ourselves. I've tried to do it for myself, but I've had plenty of things that have shook up my life. My husband's health has gone down, and so I've had to reevaluate a lot of things, and that's good. It's good for us. If you look at it as an adventure, it's good.
Yeah,
I 100% agree. I 100%. It's always changing and evolving all around us.
Yeah.
So we just got to take it and continue to learn. So many people probably, at least in my world and in my career, you stop learning and people are like, oh, when I get to this position in the corporation, I don't really need to do anything else. And they just run that gauntlet and they're happy. and they do it for 25, 30 years when there's so much more out there. And if you continue to learn, the opportunities are endless.
Yes. Yep. Well, I honor both of you for doing that in your lives. And I'm looking forward to following that journey with you.
Thank you for that.
And
We look forward to following your journey.
I was going to say, you're doing the work in educating for sure, the people. And I think as the time goes on, and especially once your new venture really starts rolling, I think you're just going to really help be a catalyst to help people realize that there's so much more. And like you said, that you don't have to wait for something astronomical to happen to change the direction of your life. You can decide today, you know what, I'm done, and that's it. I'm changing my life. You mentioned earlier the gal you talked to earlier today. You could change jobs if you want, but you're going to be in the same spot in 5 years. So you have to make a major change. Like you got to change what you got going on the inside. What is your passion? What do you want to do? Even if your passion right now is finding your passion, whatever it is for you, to get out there and do it. I think you're having the right conversations with amazing people that are inspiring big change.
And I can't wait for you to educate Kara on financials. And really, I'm sure I'll be educated also. So that's going to be great.
We'll work on it together.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, last year was kind of a bit of my journey growing business wise. And I didn't achieve all the goals that I wanted to, but I learned so much, and now things are starting to open up. So it's always that way. You don't move maybe as fast as you wanted to, or the direction you thought you would, but it all works out.
It all works out.
One of the things that I think is amazing and beautiful about life, though, is when you look back, you're like, oh my God, look at where I was 5 years ago. I can't believe how far I've come. So it's like when you're in the thick of it, it feels like it's taking forever. But then you look back, you're like, wow.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I totally agree. Wow. I could just talk to you guys for hours and hours. And so I'm looking forward to talking to you again.
I'm looking forward to it also. I think both podcast sides of this will be great. I think there was a lot of good information for people to absorb.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen to it again, right? Listen to it again because you get something different every time.
Isn't that, even when you read books, it's the same thing. Or you listen to a book again, you do take little nuggets out of every time you listen to it or read it again.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So true. I guess we got to say goodbye for now, or at least stop
the
recording, and then we can talk for another hour or two. Just kidding. Oh boy.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure, Mary. It's so much fun. I can't wait to meet you in person next.
We can't wait.
Also, I'm just looking forward to just getting to know you better. Yeah.
Super duper.
I just wanted to say thank you for, I just thought it was such a good idea. I was going to interview you, and then you guys were going to interview me. And then Kara said yesterday, why don't we just do a conversation? And I just think this has been the best. I think people will love it. So thank you for that suggestion.
Thank you.
And thank you for the conversation.
It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Till next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Kerouacs Cruising.
We're thrilled to have you with us.
We had a blast recording this episode and hope you enjoyed our adventures as much as we enjoyed sharing them.
For more amazing pictures and stories, visit our website and blog at carowexcruising.com.
And join the conversation on Facebook at Kerouacs Cruising, or email us at join@carowexcruising.com.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving us a review.
Your support helps us reach more listeners and allows us to continue sharing our travel experiences with you.
It's a generous favor that means the world to us.
Thank you so much for listening to Kerouacs Cruising.
Until next time, happy travels.